Stage 2, explore. By taking the time to share goals and ask permission to proceed, you're then prepared to move to the explore stage, where you both ask questions and answer questions. A good give and take of information to be certain you both have the same information. The explore stage is critical to be certain that you're both on the same wavelength, that you have accurate facts, and it gives you a chance to summarize the situation to be certain you all have the facts. The first is to present those facts. Provide the main theme and some of the scope. Don't try to present every detail you have. Use headlines and main points only. When you're just beginning the conversation, stay focused. We all try to put out fires, throw out solutions often before we have all the facts. Try not to work solutions here. Once the facts are on the table, discuss the data. Make it a two-way conversation by asking questions. The most effective sales reps you know create the questions they want answered before they're in front of the client. You know who you'll be meeting with. You have a lot of information. Prepare your questions before you enter the meeting room. The type of questions asked depends on the organization level of the business partner. Conversations with lower-level leaders most likely go into greater details as their slice of the organization is more narrow and specific, requiring that you ask more open-ended questions to gain more information. Often, those leaders at higher levels need to see the big picture. For them, use more closed-ended questions for higher-level leaders that require a simple yes or no response. Remember, they have a greater slice of the organization to manage. They don't have time for the details and must trust that you're able to take responsibility to gain those details when you need them. People at all levels, most often lower levels, may go through a period of insecurity, experience the need to maintain a status quo. When you're addressing someone who fears change, be certain to allow that person to speak a great deal. Ask those open-ended questions. Give them the opportunity to explain what they need from you to feel secure and to move forward. Asking effective questions is a skill to make the most of the information you gather. Be certain to seek information in topic areas. Explore each area individually. After you have found several points of agreement, stop and review. Then clarify your understanding by asking a closed-ended question to get a confirmation on each point before you succeed. The explore stage is when you and those you meet with examine the details, review the facts presented. The explore stage is also the time when issues and barriers to understanding occur most often. Bad news, such as a budget cut, downsizing, whatever impacts those you meet with negatively, will cause a negative reaction. When you're giving bad news, you're announcing an upcoming change. And no matter if the news is good or bad, change causes an emotional reaction. Add bad news to the notice that a change is coming, and you're in an emotional swamp. Let's look in on Nick and Ann again. This time, Nick has to share some bad news with Ann. The next year's budget forecast is required to include some cost reductions. The decision by upper management is to cut costs by downsizing 3 people from Ann's department. Nick's task is to allow Ann to vent, to listen to her concerns, empathize, and move forward in stage 2, explore data.
And due to budget constraints, there needs to be a staff reduction. 3 people from your team will have to be let go.
What, are you kidding me? I didn't know we were going to talk about this. You can't cut my staff. How am I going to finish a new initiative in 6 months without adequate manpower?
I understand your feelings, and it puts you in a tough position. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We know that despite the reduction, you'll still have 14 people to complete the project, and you may be able to get an extension on the completion date. And I'll work with you and do everything I can to support you and your team. Let's get all the facts on the table. We'll work through the details and the cuts and justify an extension.
All right, Nick, I know it's a good approach, but I'd really appreciate it if we could bring Ken on board for part of this discussion, because I think he's in a better position to explain the new initiative.
How do you think Nick did in this meeting? Is there anything he could have done differently? Sometimes you have to let people vent a bit. This is an emotional situation. Show empathy without blaming anyone. Business is commerce, dollars and cents. You both know that you can get back to that even keel, to a good working relationship by allowing time to cool down, for emotions to get back under control. The explore stage is particularly important when dollars and budgets are involved. When numbers are involved, accuracy is key. If you've made a mistake, or if the situation has changed and the numbers are out of date, best to find it early in the meeting. You may at this point decide to end the meeting and reschedule for another day when you're positive there's no possibility of a mistake. Turn to practice number 3 in your workbooks. Stop the video and read the section and answer the questions. Let's review your responses. Remember, there is no right or wrong answer, and I encourage you to discuss these issues with a respected colleague or a mentor shortly after you complete this video. All right, number 1, support non-financial partners. You have to provide reference material. You have to avoid abbreviations. You have to offer examples. Number 2, earn respect. Learn what's important to others. Maintain open communication. Maintain reliability. Number 3, overcome mistakes. Be open and honest. Show ethical approaches. Explain actions to correct. Show results. Number 4, strategic contribution. Do your homework to learn about the other's work and responsibilities. Number 5, manage requests for data. Avoid overwhelming your business partner by pacing requests, assisting in research, or acting as an intermediary to upper management. Number 6, deliver news of change. Understand the pressures of change and risk. Here's an important tip. Try not to move too quickly, or you risk losing the attention and interest of your audience. Don't try to have all the answers, especially this soon before you have all the facts. No one can solve every problem. Ask questions, be responsive, listen, and then you have an idea, share it in stage 3, building, so you can examine the idea while partnering with your audience.